Hi, within this lecture, we're going to cover some practical usages of classes like we generally do. But I'm not going over the same example because it got too complicated, so I'm going to create a new class to tell you all about these practical usages. So I'm going to call my class dog years because I want to calculate the human representation of a dog's age. Maybe you know that there's a general saying that a dog's year equals to 7 years of a human's age. So if a dog is 1 year old, it means that in humans terms, it means 7 years old. Okay, so I'm going to calculate this in my class. And of course, I don't need a class to calculate this. I can just do it with a simple line, or I don't need any function at all. But I'm going to do it in a class so that I can tell some practical usages of class. So what do I do first? I have to just create a year factor variable and make it equal to 7 because I'm going to multiply a dog's age by 7. So next I'm going to create my init method. Okay, so def init parentheses and a column. And don't forget to add a self in here. And what do I get as an input from the user? Of course, I want to get an age so that I can multiply this age by 7, right? So only thing that I need is age, and then I can just say that self.age is age. Because why? I'm creating a new attribute called age to my instance. I'm making this equal to the input that has given to me. So next thing that I'm going to do is just to create a calculation method in which I will just multiply this age and return it. Okay, so what I have to say is self.age multiplied by year factor, right? So we have seen this. We have to refer age as self.age. So I have to say self.age multiplied by self.year factor. Now, if I create a new instance of that class and give it an age, it will just multiply it and display the result back to us, right? And let me just try it. So I'm going to create a new dog here. My dog is equal to dog years, okay? And if I hit shift enter, it will give me an error because I didn't give any attribute, right? Because I have to give age. So let me give the age here. So let's choose like 3, for example, and then hit shift enter. Now my instance is created, and if I call my dog.age, I can see the 3. And if I call my dog.calculation and execute this method, then I will get back 21. So our class actually works. But what happens if I don't want user to give an input, or what happens if I just want a default value in here? Can I do that? Of course I can. I can say age is 1 or age is 5, for example. We did that back in functions. We can do it in methods as well. So the default value of age will be 5, and if I just leave this blank and hit shift enter, it won't give me any error. And if I hit shift enter again, then I will get 35 because 5 times 7 is 35. So we can have predefined values of these inputs. But can we have predefined values of attributes as well? Yes, we can. We don't have to take this from user at all. So I can say self.name is actually bar, for instance. Okay, so let me run this and see what happens when we create a new instance. So I'm hitting shift enter, so they're all working. Now if I call my dog, then I will see .name in here, And if I call my dog.name, it will display bar to me. So what does it tell us? It tells us that we don't have to get inputs from users to assign them to attributes at all. We can create our own attributes for default values like we do in this year factor thing in here. Okay, so as I was saying, this is actually more complicated than it should be. Like I can say self.age multiplied and make it equal to age times year factor, or age times 7 in here, right? So I can get this in one simple line as an attribute. So if I call my dog and there is no name anymore, age multiplied in here, then I will get back 35. So as in the name example, I didn't take a user input, but I just took an existing input here and multiply it by a number. So you don't have to take every input to make it an equal to an attribute. Okay? So you can create your own values for attributes as well. Another usage that you may have to be familiarized with is that if you have to take this year factor thing from here, for example, in this calculation method, then you don't have to say self.yearFactor actually, because this is like a global variable in here and it's same for all instances. So you can say dog years.yearFactor and it won't change the result. It will be the same. As you can see, we still get the correct calculation. So let's stop here, and within the next lecture we're going to see some other usages of classes.